Hello, hello, hello. Past schedule time. Go live. Are we live? Hold on a sec. We are live. Let's see if you can hear me okay. Last time the volume was really low. Okay, I think it's working. I think it's working. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let me double check. Okay, we are good to go. Happy Thursday. Welcome. Welcome to the master class. Own the room. How to speak with power, not panic. If you're someone, well, if we haven't met, my name is Coco Duan. I'm a former Fortune 500 senior executive turned life and leadership coach. I help high achieving women like you become the CEO of your inner life. Because what I've learned is that the transformation, the confidence, the power comes from within, from inside out. Once you become the CEO of your inner life, then you can become this leader that lead with calm confidence and create success that fulfills you. And today, when you're here, if you have experienced any of this, you are in the right place. If you're someone who hesitate to speak up in meetings, especially in high stakes meetings in front of senior leaders like CEO or strangers or not so friendly crowd. And you, when you're in situations like that, you rehearse every sentence before saying it. You are overthinking. And in your mind, you're like, what's the right way? Right? What's the right way to say it? Guess what? Then the moment passes and you lose the opportunity to have your voice heard. And also in your mind, you're thinking, should I say this? Does it sound stupid? Or, and do I come across as too much? Or they know this already? All of those self doubt. And after the meeting or after the encounter, you walk away wishing you'd said more or differently. You may be thinking, oh, I wish I could be more eloquent like the other person. If you have experienced any of this, you are not alone. This is so common. I used to be there too. I'm going to tell you about my story shortly. And when you have experienced all of that, what do you have tried? You may have tried avoid. Try to avoid public speaking or visibility at all costs because it's so uncomfortable. Or you just over prepare. You rehearse your presentation dozens and dozens of times trying to get every single word right. And it's a lot of work, right? That's exhausting to do that. Or you just push through because you have to do, you have no choice. You push through, then you feel exhausted afterwards. Or you may have learned techniques. People tell you communication skills and techniques. Learn to pause, learn to use power of three, and learn to make eye contact this way, that way. But you can't apply them when it matters. When you're under stress, you forget all of that. You cannot activate any of those techniques. But today I'm going to teach you something that is going to address the root cause of this challenge. It's a 3R process. And once you truly address the challenge at root cause, it creates transformation. It starts with inner shifts. As I said, always starts within. Then you will feel differently. You feel calm, grounded, and centered when you speak in front of people. Once you have that inner shift, then it creates behavior shifts. Then you feel comfortable speaking up. You voice your opinion. You don't hold back. And once you have the behavior shifts from the outside, it then creates external results. Then what you are able to create, you are going to create more opportunities. You are going to unlock many more opportunities personally and professionally. Eventually, you are going to have identity shift. That's not just, oh, I'm better at this. No, you are going to become a different version of you. And this version, you're going to go from a silent performer. I know that you're all very good at what you do, but now you're going to become a magnetic communicator. You're going to shift from I can speak, it's not safe, to my voice is powerful and I trust myself to use it. With that kind of energy, with that kind of inner power, you are going to draw people in through your presence and authenticity. How wonderful that would be, right? And how would I know? Because I've been there. I've been there. I was someone that I was someone who never raised her hand in class since I was very little. And I was just terrified of speaking up in class. And I had almost like this split personality. I didn't understand back then. In class, I was so timid, so shy, just like a quiet little mouse. But the second the recess bell rang, I stepped outside of the classroom. I became a completely different person. I was so rambunctious, loud, and also very confident. And it was a leader among my classmates, but only outside of the classroom. But inside, as I said, was so shy and timid. And I didn't understand why. Like why I was like that. I was puzzled pretty much my whole life, only until recent years started working on myself. Then I came here for business school. Guess what was the worst part of my business school experience? Cold call. Being cold called was the worst nightmare. I just wanted to hide underneath the desk, underneath the table, and just this visceral feeling, this like churn in my stomach, literally felt sick in my stomach. Then in my professional life, there was not any better, especially the early years of my professional life. I was so afraid to raise my hand or speak up in meetings. I had opinions, I had ideas, I just didn't have the courage to express them. Even at the end, approaching the end of my career, I was already very successful as a director of a Fortune 500 company, and I still had fear of speaking up in high stakes meetings. We used to have monthly business review with our CEO. In those meetings, I was always so tense. I over prepare. I had a spreadsheet of data after data after data. I know, every single number of my business. But when was in the meeting, I just had racing heart. My palms were sweating, and my body was just so tense. I remember every time after that meeting, I just felt so emotionally drained because it used so much of my energy to perform, to push through. The whole experience is so awful. And or I also remember there were a couple of times I was asked to present in our all hands meeting because me and my team did great work. We were asked to present, to be visible, but I hated it so much. I wanted to call in sick. I didn't want to go to work because of that, because it was so dreadful. Even the earlier time of my being a coach. So I left corporate America 2 years ago, became a full-time coach. I would say the first year, I also was uncomfortable being visible online, posting online, sending out emails, or even live streaming was just felt so difficult. With all of that, and I lost opportunities. I lost opportunity to showcase the great work that I did. I wasn't be able to really right, doing hard work is not enough. You have to be able to show that you're doing hard work. That's the reality. Especially as an entrepreneur, if I'm not being visible out there, people cannot find me. People don't even know what I do. And it's I felt very much frustrated with this invisible wall in front of me. I know that I'm capable of more. I know that I want to be seen more, but I just didn't know how. It just feels like it's blocking me. But finally, for the last, I've been working on this really for the past 3, 4 years. And now I am broken free. I feel completely about public speaking, being visible, and just owning my voice and owning the room. Now, when it comes to inner shift, I feel so calm, grounded, and like myself when I speak. For instance, doing this master class, I love doing it. I'm doing it every week, and I don't feel an ounce of nervous energy anymore. I feel excited about it because this is an opportunity for me to share, and I have so much inside of me I wanted to share. I trust my voice. I speak with clarity and conviction because I believe I have some valuable thing to share with you. I feel comfortable in my skin no matter which room I enter. I used to hate networking as well. No, no, I love going out to meet people. I've spoken on stages, multiple stages in front of hundreds of people. As I said, I don't feel nerves anymore. I just feel a sense of excitement. Because of this, I got invited to speak on stages, to be to be a guest on other people's podcast multiple times, and I love it. And I'm able to be visible online, social networking, and all of that. And it has helped me so much grow my business. More than just grow my business, really just have a voice. Isn't that wonderful to have your voice and really just be proud of the point of view that you have and be a positive force in the world by sharing your experience. And because of that, many people say to me that, Coco, you're a magnetic communicator, you're a magnetic speaker. I was asked to teach public speaking workshops multiple times. So it just has opened so many doors for me. And I just feel that now I'm living with no restriction. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. I choose from a sense of freedom. I truly feel free from this area of my life. Obviously, there's still other restrictions in other areas of my life, but from public speaking perspective, owning my voice and owning the room, I absolutely changed my identity from this silent performer to a magnetic communicator. Let me tell you, this feeling is priceless. And you can too. If I can, from from that shy, timid little girl in the classroom to who I am today, if it's possible for me, it's absolutely possible for you. And this is the first step for you. I'm so glad you showed up for this class and you're listening to this. So let's start with right where you are. And I know that most people, it's my personal experience as well, and also most people, is that you are comfortable with one-on-one setting. But the group setting, that's where it's tricky. And it's not a cognitive challenge. It's not like you think, right? Oh, I'm afraid of what. No, it's a completely physiology. It's like biological response. You just feel so uncomfortable in your body when you're in meetings, high stakes meetings, or meeting strangers or unfriendly rooms. And the thoughts when you're feeling that sensation in your body, like this heart racing and like the turn in your stomach, pit in your stomach, and the heat on your face, ears. I remember my ears, face, and neck would be burning, palm sweating. At some point, my mind would go blank. All of that. And then with that, you have a lot of thoughts coming up. Thoughts of what if I sound stupid? What if I make a mistake? What if they know this already? What if, right? Just the fear of being judged. But at the same time, deep down, you long to be seen. We all long to be seen. But the fear of what might happen if you are, and that's holding you back. And guess what? As I said, you're not alone. This is so common. This number one fear, there is a survey shows the number one fear of all American is public speaking, and is ranked higher than death. Jerry Seinfeld made a famous joke. He said that when you go to a funeral, most people prefer to be in the casket than delivering eulogy. I know it's funny, but it's true. Truly, that's how people feel. And on top of that, not only you just feel so dread, anxious, and fearful of being visible and speaking in public, but also you hate that feeling, the anxious feeling. It's awful. And also you hate how much energy it takes to be seen. You want to be seen, but how much energy it takes. And you're also frustrated that you do great work, but somehow invisible. And you're not taking all the credit because someone else is better at advocating for themselves, is better communicating and presenting their work. Because you are not as good at doing that, then you are not getting the credit that you deserve. Also, you are frustrated for not being seen as confident and as eloquent as you can be. And what I want to share with you is that it's there's nothing wrong with you. And the reason why you are behaving this way and you're showing up this way is not because you are not capable, or not you're you're like lacking something fundamental, or you're lacking certain skills somehow. This is deeply ingrained in us and deeply wired into us for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. So there are few reasons for that. First, it's this evolutionary threat. It's evolutionary biology. So that traces back to probably millions of years. And what is this evolutionary threat? The threat is a group judgment. It's so important because belonging equals survival. Just imagine our ancestors, the way they live is a tribal living, it's hunter and gatherer society. You need to belong to our group so that you can survive. Because in that group, in that tribe, they protect each other. In the wild, there's wild animals, tigers, lions, all of that. You cannot fend it by yourself. You need people. So when you sleep, your tribe, how do you say, tribe mate would guard you. Then you can do that, right? Then you take turns. That's how you keep each other safe. But if you don't belong to a tribe, if you're being rejected by a tribe, that means you're going to get eaten by a lion. So that is an evolutionary biology. And with that, what we have interpreted is that public speaking, if we're rejected by, when we go out speak in front of a group, and if we're being rejected, then we're excluded, then we won't survive. That's literally how our brain interprets that. Is that if I messed up, I'll be judged. If I'm judged, I'm excluded. If I'm excluded, I won't survive. That is completely subconscious. This isn't logical thinking at all. It's just pure biological. And that is a perceived threat. Right? Public speaking is a threat because of fear of rejection. When that your body senses that threat, the threat to belonging, threat to safety, it activates our nervous system. It gets you into fight, flight, or freeze response. And with that, that's why your body feels that way. When you fight or flight, you need a lot of energy, mobilize your body to evade the danger. That's why heart racing, palm sweating, fidgeting your feet fidgeting, tension in your body. Or you get into freeze, which is your mind goes blank. You just completely don't even remember what you said. So it's biological. And that is just part of being a human, that we need to belong, right? We have the need to feel belong. So that's the first one. The second is that when you're in a group setting, you feel more exposed because there's less feedback in a group setting. When you're in a one-on-one setting, you are very much in tune with the other person. You can see their response and you can engage with them. You can ask questions. And so there's also a co-regulation going on, right? If that person gives you a smile, nodding head, and you're like, oh, I'm safe, oh, I'm good, right? So you receive direct feedback so that you can regulate your nervous system. But the group setting is that you cannot really track everybody's response. Even if they have positive response, you don't necessarily see it. And a lot of times in group meetings, people don't show their expression as expressively. So then it's very ambiguous or blank. But when it's ambiguous and blank, our mind goes to a negativity. That's also a evolutionary response. We always tend to focus on more negative signals than positive signals because negative signals could be life threatening. We want to avoid that. That's why we pay more attention to that. So our brain, when we see someone's have a blank face, no facial expression, we tend to, your brain fills in the gap with the worst case scenarios. Your mind will be thinking, oh, they must think I'm boring. I sound stupid and I'm messing this up. Literally, that's what I used to think. Before, I always thought I'm boring because when people have no response, I was like, oh, they don't want to listen to me. Oh, must sound so not engaging. And especially in a performance like setting when you have to do presentations or on a panel or and that just feels very cold and one directional. Though that's even more triggering. A group setting is already threatening, but on top of that, when it's one directional and feels cold, that the threat level goes up even more. And then the third reason is that why in certain meetings you feel the pressure, even more nervous, because the perceived stakes equals the level of pressure and threat. The higher the perceived stakes, meaning if in a meeting with just your team, you are the manager of the team and you speak in front of your team, you probably don't feel as nervous. And when you're with your peers, you feel probably less uncomfortable. But when it comes to the meetings with the senior leaders and with the CEO of the company, that's a big deal because if you mess up, the consequence is much bigger. It's dire. Because in my mind, I was thinking, okay, in a meeting, if I messed up in front of the CEO, if the CEO didn't like me, if the CEO thinks I'm stupid, then guess what? My career is screwed in this company because he is the biggest decision maker and they won't promote me anymore. Right? That's what your mind goes to. So when you're more in the perceived stakes, then guess what? The more likely your body interprets the situation as threat, as danger. Because it's not just what if I mess up? What I mess up, there's consequence. What would they say about me? Especially high achievers. We tend to link our performance with our worth. It's not just, oh, I speak well or not well. No, it says that whether it's a test of identity. If I'm eloquent or articulate, or it's whether I'm out, right? It's not just I'm good at public speaking or not. No, it is I'm smart enough or not. Am I capable enough or not? Or am I competent or not? It's not just a skill, it's an identity level of threat. So that's why it's just so the response is so strong, right? Why we're just so afraid of it, so nervous and so dreadful. There's this deep biological and a psychological reason for it. Then there are a few other reasons. It really depends on the environment that you were brought up. So if you were punished or shamed for self-expression when you were younger, when you spoke up but got shut down, or when you were told you were too loud, you were too much, you asked too many questions, or when you asked questions, you got mocked or scolded, especially in front of others, then that's also your body learned speaking equals danger, visibility equals shame. Because I remember when I was like second grade and I got cold called in a math class, and I stood up and I got it wrong because I panicked. I completely panicked, even though it wasn't a difficult equation. If I didn't solve it, then the teacher scolded me. And I remember my whole body was burning with shame. I still remember that feeling in my body almost 40 years later. And that is how strong all these imprints are. And our nervous system remembers every single experience of that. And the other one could be you were held high standards, but without emotional support. You were expected to perform perfectly in school, in appearance, or in behavior, but without nurturing guidance. Meaning that if you made a mistake, the mistakes usually were met with disappointment or criticism. So with that, you also learned to be hyper vigilant, fear of failure, fear of saying the wrong thing. Right? If I'm not perfect, if I say the wrong thing, then I will be judged and rejected. So that was my experience growing up. My dad and my grandma, my dad's mom, they were very harsh, and they were they held a high standard. And if you didn't meet their standard, if you did the wrong thing, and they would scold you. I was scolded a lot. So I was so afraid of doing the wrong thing. If I say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, or even wear the wrong clothes. And is there was judgment. And that I learned just when I became the adult. I just remember a lot of things wherever I go, whatever I do, especially in public setting, and I just feel someone's watching me. Always have this imagined eyes were watching me. And that's what we call like spotlight effect. We Many of us think there's a spotlight on us all the time. Right? Everybody's watching us, observing us, and waiting, scrutinizing us. And that's where it came from. But in reality, is no, people don't really pay attention to us as much as we think they do. Everyone's worried about themselves. But since you grew up in an environment that adults in your life were scrutinizing you, then you had that felt, perceived threat of always people watching you. The last one is also cultural. There's cultural messages around modesty, deference, or hierarchy, especially common in Asian culture, the culture that I grew up in, also immigrant as well. And it's also the culture that is more collectivist. And so you were taught to not make waves, not rock the boat, not to challenge authority, not to disrespect elderly, and not to stand out too much. I heard all of those messages growing up. Literally, we have a saying in Chinese. It's like the gun is going to shoot the bird who left their head. So you want to be all just like lower your head down, Head down, do the hard work. But if you lift your head up, if you're the only one lift your head up, the gun is going to shoot you. So that's how dangerous it is. I never challenge adults. When I was younger, my parents just told me over and over again, never talk back to your teachers. Whatever your teachers tell you to do, just do it. They're always right. I learned that. With that, I had a really difficult time around authority figures growing up. My bosses, I used to be so nervous. Even just one on one with my boss, I felt very nervous. It was because of that cultural conditioning. So now you learn about where it's all coming from. To truth to be told is like there's a lot, but really fundamentally, as has programmed our system to do two things. One is nervous system. It's nervous system seeing threat because it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe when you were younger to speak up, to express your opinion, to be yourself. And now as adult, you don't feel it's safe. So it's a perceived danger, perceived threat from the past. And the past superimposed on the present. And when you feel that, when you see that, then send your nervous system to fight or flight or freeze response. So that is one, pretty much all the common threat. That's how our nervous system responds. That's why you have all these bodily sensations. And the other one is this called parts, different parts in us. I'm not going to dive into this part of the work. You can check out my podcast. I have a couple podcast episodes. I talk specifically about different parts of us protecting us. That's also, it's because of all the conditioning programming, and we learned how to survive in those environments. Then we have developed the parts in us, vulnerable parts and protective parts. The vulnerable parts is the younger, tender version of us that experienced pain and didn't want to feel the pain. The one that got scolded, the one got humiliated, embarrassed, or rejected. That part of us was a younger, tender version of us. And it was painful, right? It was painful to feel those emotions. So we didn't want to feel that. Then with that, there's another part was developed more or less around the same time. And they are protectors or protective parts of you. They jump in to rescue you, to protect this vulnerable part so that you don't have to feel the rejection, embarrassment, humiliation ever again. And this protector parts and show up in different roles, but in general, it's either shrink or over-explain or avoid or perfectionist, right? Over-prepare. And those behavior patterns that you do today, it's very much a protective parts of you trying to protect you, and they are survival strategies. They worked hard to help you to become who you are today. They really worked hard to protect you from the hurt when you were younger. But now those are the parts are just making you exhausted, right? Exhausting to over prepare, to be perfectionist, to overthink and to avoid and to push through. And you want to change that. So where you want to be instead, you want to feel calm and relaxed. You want to speak with confidence and ease. You want to feel assertive and speak with conviction and engagement. You want to speak your mind, not holding back. You don't overthink anymore. You want to feel free and comfortable in your own skin. And you want to be visible because you want to be seen, and you deserve to be seen because you have unique experiences that you want to share and people can benefit from it. You want to be seen as a thought leader, an expert in your space, and being recognized by that. Right? As I mentioned earlier, what I have tried hasn't worked. Is that all these protective parts come in, avoiding, over preparing, and faking confidence while silently panicking. It's like, fake it until you make it. That's the worst advice ever. You cannot fake your way out. You can't. And also, you cannot apply all these communication strategies and skills and techniques without addressing the root cause of the fear inside of you, this sense of safety inside of you. The worst part is that you beat yourself up, right? Feeling that way, feeling anxious, and feeling that you have to fake it. Why that hasn't worked? Why those hasn't worked? Because they are not addressing the root cause. But because ultimately this is a safety issue. And you've been trying to perform your way out of a safety issue. It's your nervous system. It's your nervous system need to feel safe. You're trying to fight with your nervous system. You can never win. Whenever you fight with your nervous system, your nervous system always chooses safety versus success 10 out of 10 times until you make your nervous system feel safe. Work with it to create this safety, then it will help you to achieve the success, but not fight with it. Okay, so I'm going to teach you this process called 3R process. It's really going to address this root cause. It's not just communication skill. I don't just teach communication skill. I help your body feel safe enough to speak. How do you make your body feel safe? It starts with the nervous system. The first R is reset your nervous system. You learn to regulate your nervous system so your body feels safe to be seen. What I said, all those cues, the reasons why you feel nervous and anxious and dreadful about public speaking, right? All of those is because you don't feel safe. It's not safe, and it's pretty much projecting. Projecting is a perceived danger. It's not reality. You are safe. No one can punish you now in that way. No tiger is going to eat you. No lions is going to chase you right now. And it's all perceived danger. So the work is all about shifting from this perceived danger to train your nervous system and not just tell your nervous system that you're safe. It's show your nervous system that you are safe. And you are safe now in the present moment. Once you show your nervous system that you are safe, then you are able to feel safe to speak up. So the first step is reset the nervous system. The second step is rewire your survival strategies. The survival strategies I mentioned: avoiding, being a perfectionist, staying small, over-explaining, pushing through. Those are all survival strategies. And it's about identify and update those patterns, because those are protectors were formed when you were younger. But now there's this wise adult version of you. Wise adult version of you, when your nervous system is regulated, then you are what? You are calm. right? When you're not being triggered, you're calm, you're centered, you're grounded, and you are capable and you are competent. And it's really about having the wise adult version of you to take the wheel of the vehicle and to be in the driver's seat and and drive your life, not the scared parts, but the wise, grounded, capable, and competent part of you to do that. So that's the second step, rewire your survival strategies. And the last one is very much about mindset, is reframe your mindset about speaking. So much we're afraid of public speaking is because we think that's a performance where people are evaluating our performance. We need to perform. And also we need to do it perfectly. But public speaking is not a performance. It's an opportunity for connection. And it's an opportunity for contribution. And it's not about you. It's not about whether people will think you're smart, you're capable, you are engaging, eloquent. No, people come into a meeting, people listen to a presentation. It's not people go there to judge you. People go there because they want to get something out for them. So it's about audience. It's about what you bring to the table, not about how people see you. And shifting from this feeling you are under this harsh spotlight to seeing yourself as a lighthouse, and you are guiding others. You are using your wisdom, insights, and experience to illuminate for others while you are grounded. And that's the reframe of the mindset. Through reset of your nervous system, rewire your survival strategies, and reframe your mindset about speaking. Through those steps, you can fundamentally change your identity, not just as a speaker, as a communicator, actually as a leader. But obviously, that is a process. It's not something that you can accomplish in one day or in one class. But I'm going to give you a starter kit to start with. And it's a simple 3-step process you can do before any meeting and presentation to calm your nervous system and speak with confidence. So the first step is all about calming your nervous system. Because when your nervous system is activated to sympathetic response, fight or flight, you don't have full access to your brain. And that's when you are not able to think clearly and articulate effectively. And that's when your mind would go blank, right? You can have all these great ideas, but nothing will come out if your nervous system is activated. So the first thing is all about calm your nervous system. First thing you do is about create a confidence protocol. It's use your breath, use sound, humming or sighing, or use movement and like shake it out. As I mentioned earlier, when your nervous system is activated, it's literally your body is preparing you to evade the danger. That's when you have a lot of energy, a lot of heat in your body. You notice that, right? The heat in your stomach, in your chest, and your heart, and your face and neck, and all of that. And then there's energy need to be moved out of your body. Also, you feel fidgeting, all of that. That's your body's natural response to this energy. What do you want to do? You want to shake it out. You want to shake it out, walk around. And with the breath, take a few deep breaths, deep belly breath with your exhale longer than your inhale. And inhale 4 counts, exhale 8 counts. If you can do that, a few of those will immediately calm your nervous system. And do a long sigh or do a little bit humming. And that is a primal, the vibrational sound inside of us has a very powerful way of calming our system down. And then movement, as I mentioned. If you can do that, you don't have to do all of them, but if you just do one of them consistently, you will feel the immediate effect. That's first one. Create a confidence protocol. Do it right before your meeting. Then in your meeting, what you want to do is orient to safety. Because a lot of time when you're in the meeting and you are not in the present moment, you don't feel it's safe. You're projecting the past to the present, and you see, what do you see as you want to stay present. You want to be able to orient to, because present is safe. How do you do that? You can name 3 things you see when you're in a meeting. Let's say I'm here right now, I'm presenting. Name 3 things I'm seeing. I'm seeing the camera, I'm seeing my water bottle, and I'm seeing literally my laptop. Right? Just have that allow you to stay present, because present moment is safe. Feel your feet. Ground your feet on the floor. Feel your feet. When you feel your feet all the time, you're present. Breath, breathing, that's one, two, and also connect to an anchor. Could be an object, could be a person in the room or on the screen. Pick a friendly face. That's what I do when I'm presenting or when I'm speaking in front of big groups. What I do, because not, as I said, not everybody has a friendly face, but doesn't mean they're not friendly, but you don't see it. And you want to pick the person who's like smiling at you and who's nodding their head all the time. And that make you feel safe. Oh, okay, it's well received. They understand, they like what I'm saying. It's very important even for me now. I still want that. So that's what you want to do. Connect to an anchor. And these are all about orienting your system, nervous system, to safety. Okay, it's not just a communication technique. No, it's about safety. The last one, it's so important. It's about use micro exposures, meaning that you need to keep exposing your nervous system to this so-called perceived threat, perceived danger, and show it that it's safe, but only one tolerable step at a time. What does it mean? It means that this step is uncomfortable, but you can complete. For instance, right now, if you feel really uncomfortable speaking in front of like 20 people, but all of a sudden I ask you to speak in front of 100 people, you're probably going to faint. But if you start with, oh, okay, you know what? Let me just speak in front of 5 people, 10 people, then 20, then 30, step by step, right? Speak up in smaller groups first and record yourself, and to see how you how you actually do it. Then you can correct from there. Then slowly raise the stakes. Speak with more people, speak longer, and speak a little bit more in high stakes meetings. Maybe in one high stakes meeting, just say, you know what, I'm just going to ask one question. In this meeting with the CEO, I'm just going to ask one question. Next time, say, you know what, I'm going to ask 2 questions. I'm going to ask one question and make a comment. Just that small, one tolerable step at a time. It's about increasing your nervous system's capacity by showing it. It's safe. Once you do that, you're like, oh, nothing bad happens. Oh, I didn't get fired by asking one question. I'm fine. Then it's like, oh, okay, it's fine. I can do this. I can do this more. And that's how you train your nervous system to feel safe. There's no way. You cannot think your way out of it, okay? You cannot plan your way out of it. You cannot write, just journal your way out of it. Uh-uh. You need to feel your way out of it. Feel it by doing it, by taking steps, but gradually. Gradually. Why it works this time? Because you're not pushing through the fear. You actually are healing the root cause. The root cause is safety, feeling safe. And you're not performing your confidence. You're embodying it. Embodying it meaning you're doing it. You're feeling in your body. And you are building safety from the inside out. Ultimately, it's about this internal safety. You feel safe to be you. Eventually, with that, is an identity shift. You're going to feel like a different person. Start with the inner shift, how you feel. You're going to feel calm, grounded. You're going to feel like yourself, comfortable in your skin. Even in high stakes moments, you trust your voice. You speak with clarity and conviction. And you are just comfortable being you no matter which room you enter. That's once you feel that way about yourself, then the behavior comes as a result of that. How you show up, you're going to speak up in meetings, in panels, in pitches with power. No problem. No panic anymore. You become more visible. You want to be visible and you like to be visible, just like me. I'm excited about this. I'm excited sharing my knowledge and experience, expertise. With that, then you become magnetic. You draw people in. People want to be around you. People want to hear you speak because you're authentic and you're natural and you are powerful. You are engaging. Who doesn't want to be in the presence of that? Once you have that, results come. You can create more opportunities, more doors open, new roles, new invitations, new opportunities. You're being seen as a thought leader, an expert in your field, in your space, and your visibility creates more aligned opportunities and recognition. And you take the credit where the credit is due. And that is all through reset your nervous system, rewire your old survival patterns, and reframe your mindset around speaking. And then take one tolerable step at a time. Eventually, you go from I can't speak, it's not safe, to my voice is powerful and I trust myself to use it. You draw people in with your presence and authenticity. You shift from this silent performer to a magnetic communicator, to ultimately to become this leader. Lead with calm confidence. People want to follow you. How empowering that is. Empowering, liberating, and freeing. Because I experienced that. I'm on the other side of this. And I want you to come to this side too, and you can. And with that, this is the class, and I wanted to invite you. Right, this is a great class. This is a great start. And thank you for coming to this class, for spending an hour of your time. And this is probably is a very great investment in yourself. But to be honest, this one class won't change everything. Right? As I said, all those patterns are deeply, deeply ingrained in us. And to be honest, I wouldn't be here without the support of my coaches, because it's very challenging to do those work on my own, right? Nervous system, mindset rewiring, change the survival mechanism, or program into us through decades of repetition. And it's very hard to do it on your own. And when you get expert support, guidance, and accountability, you can make lasting changes in an accelerated fashion. That's why I invite you to the next step with me. I want to invite you to join my one-on-one VIP coaching program, where I take you step by step in a safe, focused, and supported container to help you to transform from a silent performer to a magnetic communicator. Ultimately, to become a leader who leads with calm confidence and create a success that's truly fulfilling. And you may wonder, oh, well, that sounds great, the coaching, but I'm not sure it's right for me or not. That's why I make the next step really, really simple. I offer a free 1 hour one-on-one consultation call. And on this call, I'm going to help you to clarify where you are now, where you want to be, what's holding you back, and give you a personalized support plan. And it's going to be the best 1 hour investment you can make it in yourself. It's not just a casual chat, it's a, a powerful turning point of your life. And it's the first step to transformation. And after the call, if we decide to work together, that's amazing. But even if we do decide not to work together, you're still going to walk away with some powerful insights. And from the call, and you are going to feel from confused to clear, from hopeless to hopeful, and from feeling stuck to a sense of relief. It's not because your problem you just fix within an hour. Of course, that's not possible. But you're going to walk away with a solution and a roadmap and a path to freedom. I encourage you to schedule that call with me now. You can either DM me consultation, consult, or go to my website and click work with me, where that's where you can find the link. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you and supporting you on this incredible, incredible transformation journey from a silent performer to a magnetic communicator. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.